Welcome to another gripping episode of history, where faith, power, and warfare intertwined to shape the medieval world. The Crusades, a series of religious wars between Christian and Muslim forces, defined an era of conflict, diplomacy, and cultural exchange. From legendary battles to strategic alliances, the Crusades were a turning point that influenced the course of history. Before we embark on this journey into the past, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more deep dives into the world's most fascinating conflicts. Now, let's begin our exploration of the Crusades. The Crusades were not merely battles for land. They were movements driven by religious fervor, political ambition, and economic motives. These wars, spanning nearly 200 years, saw knights, kings, and commoners marched thousands of miles to claim the Holy Land. It all began in 1095, when Pope Urban II delivered a rousing speech at the Council of Clermont. Calling upon Christian warriors to reclaim Jerusalem from Muslim control, he promised divine rewards and eternal salvation. This call sparked a series of military campaigns that would forever change Europe and the Middle East. The First Crusade saw thousands of European knights and peasants embark on a perilous journey to the Holy Land. With the Byzantine Empire under pressure from Muslim advances, Emperor Alexios I sought help from Western Europe, leading to an uneasy alliance between Christian powers. In 1199, after years of brutal battles, the Crusaders finally captured Jerusalem. The siege was a bloody affair, with mass casualties on both sides. The establishment of Crusader states in the Levant marked a new era of Christian presence in the region, but the victory was only the beginning of a long struggle. While the Crusaders celebrated their triumph, Muslim leaders began to unite against the invaders. The fragmentation of Islamic rule in the region had initially allowed the Crusaders to advance, but by the early 12th century, new leaders emerged to reclaim lost territories. One of the first major setbacks for the Crusaders came in 1144, when Zengi, a powerful Muslim warlord, recaptured the city of Edessa. This defeat shocked Christendom and prompted the launch of the Second Crusade. The Second Crusade, led by European monarchs such as Louis VII of France and Conrad III of Germany, ended in failure. The Crusaders failed to reclaim Edessa and suffered heavy losses. However, the greatest test for the Crusaders came in the late 12th century, with the rise of a formidable Muslim leader, Saladin. The charismatic Sultan of Egypt and Syria united Muslim forces and dealt a devastating blow to the Crusaders at the Battle of Hattin in 1187. In response, the Third Crusade was launched, led by legendary figures like Richard the Lionheart of England, Philip II of France, and Emperor Frederick Barbarossa. Though the Crusaders failed to retake Jerusalem, Richard negotiated a truce with Saladin, allowing Christian pilgrims access to the Holy City. The Fourth Crusade took a shocking turn when the Crusaders, instead of marching to the Holy Land, diverted their forces to Constantinople, the Christian capital of the Byzantine Empire. In 1204, they sacked the city, looting its treasures and toppling the Byzantine rule. This event marked a deep betrayal and permanently weakened the Byzantine Empire, leaving it vulnerable to later Muslim conquests. The Fourth Crusade demonstrated that, by this point, the Crusades had become as much about politics and wealth as they were about religion. As the 13th century progressed, the Crusader states weakened, facing growing Muslim counterattacks. The Ayyubid and later the Mamluk dynasties of Egypt launched campaigns to reclaim lost territories. The last major crusading effort came with the 7th and 8th Crusades, led by King Louis IX of France. However, these campaigns failed to achieve lasting victories, and by 1291, the final Crusader stronghold of Acre fell to the Mamluks, marking the end of Christian rule in the Holy Land. Though the Crusades ultimately failed to establish permanent Christian rule in the Holy Land, their impact was profound. They shaped relations between the Christian and Muslim worlds for centuries and contributed to the development of trade, military advancements, and cultural exchanges between East and West. The Crusades also fueled religious tensions and altered the political landscape of Europe and the Middle East. While they are often remembered for their brutal conflicts, they also played a role in shaping the modern world through the exchange of ideas, technologies, and traditions. The Crusades remain one of history's most fascinating and debated conflicts. From grand victories to devastating defeats, they tell the story of ambition, faith, and perseverance. What do you think was the most significant moment in the Crusades? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode. See you in the next video.